Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
Welcome to the Texas Ticket. This is Armando, and I'm with Jada, Ingle, my special co-host today from BeLocal magazine.
Hi, Armando. How are you today?
Outstanding.
Awesome.
Welcome to the show. We've got the makings for a great show. I hate to call it great. It's like seems like self-praise prior to it even happening. Maybe great.
I think it's going to be great.
Lots of potential.
Lots of potential. It's Friday.
It is. And today on the show with very little further ado, we have the king of the Renaissance Festival. He's here joining us now. He's in the studio with us. We also have right afterwards, don't take off, we have Katie Ingle, and she's working with a nonprofit, a children's nonprofit. She's going to tell us all about that. And we're going to see what we can do to share that with everyone in the audience. And if you haven't heard about Katie Ingle, I think the photography is in the family, runs in the blood. We're going to share some of that and go through that here in just a minute. But with no further ado, let's get the king of the Renaissance Festival. Is he in? Can we see him?
Is this where I speak?
There's a light shining above you. There's an aura about you.
Oh, is there?
Yes, it's amazing.
Well, I hope it doesn't mean I'm ill.
It looks like it's a positive thing.
I refuse to go into the light. No.
Not that one. No. Welcome to the Texas Ticket. Glad you made it.
It's my pleasure indeed. And how exciting to be here with you. Lone Star Community Radio.
Yes.
How exciting is that?
Well, we're glad you're here, and we're about ready to kick off the 49th Texas Renaissance Festival.
That's right, indeed. We can't wait. Just a week and a day away.
Right?
Indeed. October 7th, we open up, and we'll be open every weekend until November 26th, and that includes the Friday after Thanksgiving. So we have 17 days of Renaissance fun for everyone.
So the first weekend, that's the Queen's birthday, right?
That is
There is a celebration.
Yes,
there.
absolutely. We're celebrating Oktoberfest, as we all. So we'll all be in our lederhosen, and the ladies will be wearing their drindles. And, of course, we'll be having big steins and drinking lots and lots of beer.
Jada, do you have a drendel?
I don't.
You know what a drendel is?
No.
Me neither.
I don't.
I was curious. Is this
Think of the
normal
St.
wear?
Polly's girl.
Okay.
Her little dress.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, look at you smile. You like that one.
Do you have one of those?
I don't, but I think I could buy one there, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You certainly
That's
can.
my plan. I will go. Opening weekends. I can buy
There you
one.
go.
Drendel.
Yes, and of course, it is the Queen's birthday, so
Yes.
we're all excited, and we have special presents. We have throughout the whole village, all our artists and vendors and booth owners and shop owners are having special discounts in honor of the Queen, and ticket prices are as cheap as they've been in nearly 30, 40 years.
I saw that. It's
Indeed.
like the easiest weekend. We were throwing about tickets to all our friends, and you probably don't want to use these on opening day.
I think opening weekend is going to be fun. I always like to start off on opening weekend because that'll inspire you to go again later.
And kids are like half-price tickets, and then at a certain age, they're free.
That's right. Every Sunday, children 12 and under are free, and then on Saturdays, 5 and under are free. So we try to make it as family-friendly as we can, and so folks will come and enjoy themselves.
And bring everybody. It sounds like it's
absolutely.
ideal. And it opens around 10:30.
Oh, actually, we open up about 9. Sometimes we open a little early. Sometimes we'll notice people coming to the gates early, and we don't want them just standing there. So, being the king, I just say, open the gates, and they open, and we just start early if we need to.
Because the King's Feast starts around 10:30.
11.
11.
But we want you there at
It's over.
10. We want you there at 10:30.
That's
though,
right.
Armando,
They
'cause we
tell you
want
to come at
sign
10:30.
in. Yeah.
Okay, so King's Feast starts at 11.
And usually there may be one at 2. I say usually
Yes.
there may be one. Some days there is one or two, and there occasionally are not.
Depends how good the first one was.
Good point. Indeed, I had never thought of it like that, but that might explain it.
We're good.
Yeah, they're all like, we're through.
We're good. Thanks.
We don't need the second one.
No, I'm fine.
But, of course, they can find out all about that at our website, texrenfest.com, which I'm sure we'll mention infinite amount of times during our time today. But they can go there and they can make King's Feast reservations. They get their tickets for opening weekend or for any of our weekends. There's all kinds of fun because we also have, I didn't know if you know this, but we have wine tastings, we have scotch tastings, we have whiskey tastings, we have mead tastings, we even have coffee tastings. I suppose after all the others, coffee would be an important addition.
Knight's Brew, the new
That's
coffee.
right. Look how clever you are. You're right on
Brew.
it. I'm excited. Yes, we are very happy to have the Knight's Brew Cafe joining us this year. They're going to be having a lot of fun and serving us brand new coffee.
Yeah.
And it's Knight with a Y. Now, you see, I thought it was, at first, it would be with a K. Like they're playing off, oh, Knight's Brew. And they're like, oh, yes. But no, they're playing it with a Y.
I imagine it drinks the same.
Ooh, we'll see. Could be good.
It'll all be about the, the oomph.
Yes.
That's right.
I would imagine it's got some kick. I just had a Vietnamese coffee on the way over here.
Ooh.
They told me that had the most kick you're going to find. And I was like, well, I think I just heard about a Knight's Brew that might be a contender.
I would hope so.
Might be a contender.
I can't wait. I'll let you know. And then when you show up, I'll tell you which one to get, indeed.
Right. Okay, so there's also I think I've been hearing about, well, I'll back up. I'll do that later. But now, I had a question about the arena events because every time I go, it seems like it's all over the map for me, and I'm stumbling upon something super cool, right? And that I just didn't plan. They're just like they were going all the time, and which I think they are. I believe that. But I was curious if they're theme based to the weekend's event, right? So, like on Barbarian Invasion, are all the arena events barbarian style?
Not exactly, though, sort of.
Oh, perfect.
There we go. For it's true. On every weekend we have a costume contest.
Okay.
Oh, for our theme. So on Barbarian Invasion weekend, we have the best dressed barbarian costume contest at 2:00 at the arena. And just in case the folks don't know, the arena stage is where we have our jousting. So this is a full amphitheater, a Greek style amphitheater. It seats about 6,000 people.
Dang.
And we have 4 knights in full metal armor, astride horses at full gallop and full contact
It's
jousting.
outstanding. They really get after it.
They certainly do. And we also have full metal combat. And if you haven't seen that, that's incredible. These gentlemen get out there twice a day, put on full armor, get real weapons, so they are dulled because we don't want to be chopping a limb off, and then they literally beat the snot out of each other for about 20 minutes. And bang, bang, until only one is left standing or conscious. It's absolutely, and it's an amazing show. The knights fighting in it they're braver than me. Indeed.
They're definitely out there with that. And there's the evening show. There's also an evening show.
Oh, that's right. You're
it
speaking
vary?
of Solar Rain, indeed. And that's
Solar
a.
Rain. Oh, my
I'm sure
gosh.
people may have seen Fire Spinners with poi and certain things. This is a group of nearly a dozen performers that perform all at the same time with fire. So the arena is filled with all these spinning and dancing. And probably one of my favorite things out there that they have is the fire mop.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen the fire mop, you have not lived.
I've seen the show. It is spectacular. And it's just so dark, and that all 6,000 of those people get quiet, and that guy walks out with that lantern, and it's just ding, 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 and you see his little light shining, and it just gets weird. Is it started? I think it started. There's somebody coming out over there. One of those. And it's just wow. It's a wow. It's got a lot of wow. For the big shapes, the burning squares and circles, and I don't want to give too much away, but then there's that actual fight with weapons that are on fire, and you can hear the shields clash down the street on the other side of Todd Mission.
It's
true.
true.
I mean, they're hitting it. This isn't pretend and just. They're in the dark with a fire weapon and clashing a hard wooden shield with you can tell.
And you can see the sparks fly.
Oh, they're going after it. It's great.
Well, I'm going to get you to tell everybody from now on about that because I love your excitement because everybody who sees that show is amazed by it.
It is. I was, and that's why the nature of the question, because I wanted to know if that happens all the time. I mean, do I get to watch that again? I mean, do we get to see this
every
again?
evening? Weather permitting, of course, because there are some. There is the possibility that sometimes weather is makes the field too dangerous for them to
Wind
run
and
around
whatnot.
on.
Oh, I could see that.
Yeah, with the fire, and you don't want to be carrying that big cube and slipping and that kind of thing.
Oh gosh, I wasn't sure. I'm wondering how heavy is that thing? Is it lightweight? And how do they get the, and there's lots of questions, but nevertheless, I think I see a lot at theater about so much that goes on. The actors, how they've evolved and matured, and maybe even been born into the system. And some that are moving into second and third generation of actors and thespians at the festival.
Absolutely, and it's very perceptive, and not just the actors, but our artisans and artists and craftspeople, even our cooks. Of all the different food vendors we have out there, all of those are generational. And what a lot of people don't understand is they see the Texas Renaissance Festival and they think of it as some monolithic thing that owns the whole village, and that's not the case. Every shop out there, every booth is a private business owner. They come out to the festival, they buy their area, rent their area, lease their area, whatever sort of contract they want to work out with the kingdom, and then they set up their own business, their own wares. Some of them, from leather makers to clothiers to blacksmith, glass blowers.
It's crazy.
Sword makers, knife makers, jewelers, potters, mug makers, wood crafters.
And years of doing that, they get better at their craft.
Of course,
they're and you can tell it's like 50 years. We don't pretend to have an old city anymore. It actually is kind of old, but growing constantly. But I mean, I remember trying to give a rustic look to certain construction, and you'd burn the wood or you'd salt water the metal. So we're there. I mean, there's overgrowth, like certain vines and stuff that are on certain buildings that really accent them to where this is now pop-up, event. This is a well-structured, architected, 800,000 something booths that are structures, if not more. And
I think it's a little less than 800,000. I'm thinking closer to. We have about 400 or 500 booths out there, 400 to 500 booths. And you're right. You start adding in structures, all of our structures together. You start getting close to 800 for certain.
And I watch the numbers on the doors. You know what I mean? There's like a street address, and then the numbers move into that, however that worked out, or if But nevertheless, it's a lot. And
exactly. And there's in the streets we have people set up in small little booths and tents and
the pickle guy,
carts. The pickle guy.
Who's that guy that insults me every time I go?
The pickle guy?
Not the pickle guy.
He's you're talking about Skid Mark, who sits on the road.
That's the guy.
He says, "Give me $1."
Yeah. And if you don't give him $1, he insults you.
Yeah.
He's nicer than the tomato guy we used to hit tomatoes on.
Well, the tomato guy gets hit, so you can't have a very good attitude.
You can't mess with Skid Mark, though.
Yeah, that's true.
You can throw tomatoes at the tomato guy.
Absolutely. We have lots of fun out in the street and lots of performers everywhere. You'll notice them on every corner.
That's in the aisle.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that's in the aisle.
Exactly.
It's a lot of fun. Elephants. There were elephant rides and things like that.
And all our elephants, we're happy to say, have all retired from other professions, and so it's a preserve. So they take care of the elephants, but they find there's a lot of argument about how elephants are and how to ride them and such. But these elephants have been working their whole life, and it's a very easygoing thing for them. So. If people don't like that, we ask them they don't have to ride, and we're not looking to ever gain any more elephants. These elephants are finishing out.
Their
time.
If you haven't been to the Renaissance Festival and you haven't had the opportunity to visit it, they're throughout the park. There are things that look like and are used as chapels or wedding halls, and they are matured in a way with flowers and garden that grow from top to bottom of them, with fountains and just gardenery. Is that a word?
Yeah, and that's what we have. We have the huge open-air chapel, which you're speaking of, which is a huge, almost 70, 80-foot structure, and it's all open, heavy wood timbers, and it's just absolutely beautiful.
They look fabulous.
The English garden, our basilica.
The one with the statues and everything everywhere. Yeah, that one's super cool, too. And do those get used like off-season for weddings and parties and things? Or what do you do with those? Only during season.
Yeah, I think occasionally people who want a very special private party have taken advantage of that.
And we
Generally.
recently, on the previous note, we met with Ravenswood Leather, and they're one of the vendors out there.
original,
Also
yeah.
retail out in Magnolia, and we met with My Dress Boutique, a dressmaker. She makes wedding dresses by hand, paints her own dresses, has shops right there, several of them. My favorite dress shop.
Yeah, my favorite dress up
Dakota
Dakota.
Zales. Dakota Zales, outstanding. And all the people we've met, through the seasons and through the years that have come from whatever beginnings to really thrive out there at the festival.
And these are great examples of the artists who started, who had an idea and went, I want to do this, and finally, put the time and effort, started their booth, and now, Dakota is well known out there. People every year can't wait to go and visit.
We had her at a fashion show. She walked a whole bunch of folks, and
I heard about that fashion show. Indeed, the Queen and I are looking forward to going to the next one. I think
it'll be our pleasure to host you there. And we had the Dakota had started working with some scales that armor she's making, and it was just. Wait, what is that on your shoulder? And she's like, it's our own scales. We're making those now, and it's metal, and you just, it's really cool. Not like
I haven't even seen that. I'm jealous.
Yeah,
now.
and she's like, it's our first time to bring them out, and we're accenting. She accented a lot of things with it, but the shoulder wear was super cool, and really enjoyed that. But, I can't help this, but your hair looks amazing.
Well, thank you. I love it. I go to the color bar.
The color bar? Is
Yes.
that who's doing that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they do a great job. They make sure that I.
It would go well with
Awesome,
some
Mama.
dragon scales and some,
dragon scales.
one of those high leather bustiers and, some shoulder plates. And
I know. Can the king
I was
hook
thinking.
me
I was
up here?
thinking. I was thinking more like Titania, the fairy queen.
Oh, yeah, I
was
see
seeing
it.
Leaves and garlands and wings and.
That might be the.
That might be the thing. I think. So, can I say I know the king? Can you get me in? With some of these people?
I know a guy.
I know a guy.
I know a king.
I know a guy. You'll send me to the right places.
Well, we'll certainly send you to the right places, but you'll have to haggle out your own deal. I have to collect my taxes from somebody. My goodness.
They can't impose the monarchy on the shops, Get out!
Have you
Everybody
come
out!
out to the festival before?
I have been out. I
Have
have.
you?
I have.
What's one of your favorite things?
Well, I
out
love
there?
the jousting stuff.
You love the
Because
jousting,
that's
indeed.
always fun, and the beer, and the heckling.
Who do you root for when you go to the joust?
I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't know.
Viva España!
Viva España! That's our red and black roll.
I don't know.
Indeed, we have each of the arena sections, and now you'll know this
Yeah,
next time you
don't
go.
they
Are
tell
painted
me?
in color.
Yes.
So you can either be a French, the Spanish, the German, or the English. Or if you sit in the middle section, the gold and purple section, we call that the royal section. And if you sit there, you can root for whoever you want to.
All right.
There you go. And, but you got to root for somebody.
Well, it's
16th
whatever
century.
section you sit in.
It's the 16th century.
She's cheering for the winner.
Yes, exactly.
Indeed.
Exactly. It's wherever I'm at.
Have you seen any of the shows out there at any of the stages? Did
I
you
don't
ever-
know. I'm excited to go this year. Aren't you guys one of
Excited.
the largest festivals in the country?
We are the largest festival.
That's
in the
awesome.
country.
And it's
Indeed.
right here.
It is right here.
I love that. We are so lucky for that.
And the website, Texas Renaissance.
TEXRENFEST.com. That's TexRenFest.com. They can find out all about the festival. They can find out all about the themed weekends. They can get your tickets there. You can plan out your whole weekend. We have a what to do and how do you want to plan. And if you want to do other things like the King's Feast or all the tastings we talked about.
Campground stuff. You can book all that.
We didn't even talk about
I know.
campground
I know.
here. The Fields of New Market. And we have camping for RVs.
Okay.
or
Hookups, all that?
trailers. We have some hookups, limited hookups, so you got to make your reservations early.
Okay.
We also have primitive camping, and then we have cabins. And then for those people who don't want to do anything, who just want to show up and lay their head down, we have glamping.
Oh.
And if you haven't done the glamping, I promise you, it is an
We'll
experience.
pull the I know a guy card for that.
There you go.
Yes.
And,
Now we got up the ante there.
you'll love it. They're climate-controlled tents with beautiful, comfy beds,
Wow.
everything you need.
I had no idea. I had no idea.
Absolutely.
Idea.
And of course, it's right in the middle of the campground, the Fields of Newmarket, so you can participate at the Royal Bonfire, where there's entertainment going on throughout the evening until midnight. We also have the Knights Club, where they have burlesque and music, and of course adult libations,
Oh, my
and
goodness.
dancing, and hookah bar, and as if. So when you come out to the festival, you can play. It's a whole weekend. It's a
Wow, that's
whole
fantastic.
experience. And we're proud of that, because when we began 50 years ago, we were a small one-day festival. And then we grew and it started taking 2 days to enjoy it. Now we're a destination location.
Love it.
You know, people can visit from anywhere. They can spend the entire weekend. We have friends here in Conroe who are hotels and motels sponsors with us. We have them in Magnolia. So we have
Right,
lots of
where they
things and
stay.
lots of
That's
partners to work with.
fantastic. I'm excited for this season, and even more so for next. I feel like everything I'm doing this season is to volley the Big 5-0 coming up next year.
That's absolutely right. 50 years. And I like what you were mentioning earlier about people being able to buy pieces of their costume this year in preparation.
Because we're going to showcase next year. I mean, next year at the Big 5-0, I certainly want to go be part of that big celebration, and everything I get and all I've accumulated through the years, it seems like this is the time to show out, you know, when the 5-0 comes. This is my last shopping experience before the 5-0. So I want to make sure our outfits are ready. We're good to go. Our banners are good to raise, and we're out there, you know. We're going to have some fun on Big 5-0, and this season getting prepared, getting ready at TXRenfest.com.
That's right. TexRenfest.com. TexRenfest.com. And you can find, again, everything that you need, tickets, find out about all the different acts and groups, because we haven't even talked about all the stages.
there's so
we have
much
8
stuff.
stages. We have 6 gazebos. There's music constantly playing.
Food, music,
throughout the
libation,
festival. It's
all
all
day.
there. The Magic Gardens, which is a lovely half-mile stroll.
Oh, it's
which
gorgeous.
Suddenly you're walking creekside, and all the fair kind of disappears in the background. You just find yourself in an enchanted little.
And out of
grove
nowhere, there's
of
another
trees.
show there.
That's true.
You
They-
know, I mean, I was walking down it exactly where you're talking about. I'm
Yeah.
like, I feel like I'm kind of broke away from the crowds and stuff. And then I look around the corner and there's a whole nother show happening.
That's right. This year, Foolhardy, with their Untrained Dog Show, will be performing at Titania's Bower. So we hope that you'll go visit the marquee, and I'm a Nut, and see
There you
their
go.
show. They're going to have a lot of fun.
And I can't wait to the end of the season. I know they make you do some play stuff, a lot of thespian stuff, a little acting going on for the holiday shows. I don't even know what to call it. We caught it last year at Christmas.
Oh, our Celtic Christmas weekend,
Yeah,
right after
but there's some
Thanksgiving.
shows in theater you do at the
Yeah.
end. There's like
Well, yeah.
dances. I guess we all do little special things for Christmas, and you know, and
Oh,
sometimes
but we dance every
Christmas?
weekend.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, every weekend because we honor our theme and we have a
Yeah.
proclamation, so we do a dance.
you're a busy guy.
Well, it's
My
it's
question,
good
how
to
do
be
you
king. I mean,
Heavy's the head that wears the crown. Yeah.
indeed, and you know, I have to keep up with the queen.
Oh,
Because if
yeah.
the queen wants to dance,
You better be
I
dancing.
better be ready to dance. Indeed, the queen wants to eat. We're taking her out to some food.
That's gonna be a
Indeed, she
turkey
wants her
leg.
birthday. We're celebrating her birthday.
Did you have something for him before we
Yeah,
wrap?
how do you choose what weekend? That's what I want to know. All these
Ah, that's true. And we haven't even named them all. So we start off with our Oktoberfest, our Queen's birthday. We have 1001 Dreams, which we invite all the fairy courts from Avalon to come
That
and
one.
join us.
That sounds
themes. That's the one I want to know.
Yeah, the Pirate Adventure, where all the pirates come out and they break out their worst piratey accents and call everyone a scurvy knave and drink lots of rum.
Lots of rum.
And then we celebrate All Hallows Eve, which of course is Halloween. So we all dress up spooky and scary, and we have trick-or-treating for the children on site. And then there's a trunk-or-treat out in the campground. So there's stuff for the whole weekend. And we follow that up with Heroes and Villains.
Yes, so I heard about this one.
Yeah,
the
because
Heroes and
well, we
Villains.
found out that everyone loves heroes and villains, and they've invited us many years now. We go to this big, extravagant castle in Houston called the George R. Brown.
Oh, yeah.
And we go there for the Comic Palooza and all these heroes there. And we saw all of them. We thought, well, come join us. And they're all like, we do. We love you. And
There
like,
you go.
We'll give you a whole weekend. They're like, thank you. And we do. We have a heroes and villains weekend. I dress up like King Arthur. I have beautiful white armor.
I've seen it.
And the queen, she dresses up like Morgan Le Fay, though.
Oh,
that
nice.
Evil witch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of scary. We followed that up with our, as we mentioned a little bit earlier, the Barbarian Invasion, which is everything fur and leather,
Love it.
and all the muscly people seem to just appear out of nowhere. All these swollen meat cakes and running
Conan
around.
looking.
Yeah, Conan and Red Sonjas everywhere.
everywhere.
I mean, just some of these women with huge swords and just it's amazing what these folks do
And
for
then-
barbarians. He's like, what's next? Highland Fling.
Highland
And of course-
Fling, that's
and
right.
of course, that's where we celebrate everything Scottish, and
That's
we
Scot-
all
yeah.
butcher our brug as best as we can, and put on our kilts and drink lots of scotch.
That's pretty good.
Oh, well, thank you. Obviously, you're not Scott. But yeah, we have a great time celebrating that. And I mentioned the Highland Games we have for that weekend. And it's
If I was
a
at
great
the
time.
Highland, it'd be horrendous. You know, they think they.
That's a haggis. And of course, we have a haggis eating contest. In fact, every weekend we have a food contest. So every weekend you have an opportunity. If you win the food eating contest, you win a season tickets to next year's festival.
Wow.
That's
So
a
you
pretty
get
good
tickets for every
prize.
weekend. Yeah, it's worth eating some haggis if you can get some tickets. And of course, as we mentioned, our last 3 days, the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, right after Thanksgiving, we celebrate Celtic Christmas. We decorate the entire village for the holidays.
It's beautiful. It's
Beautiful.
really cool.
It really is. And we have Father Christmas there with the Christmas elves visiting with the children. We have a grand
The
time with that.
Anheuser-Busch horses come.
Sometimes.
The Clydesdales.
sometimes,
Sorry, I don't
yeah,
know if it's Bush, but it's the Clydesdales.
But yes, the Anheuser-Busches.
No, not those
we
bushes.
stack throughout the entire village. No, they don't come every year. Though we may invite them for our 50th, and that will be their. I believe that'll be their third or fourth appearance.
I really enjoyed that. It's a lot of fun. And we enjoy the Renaissance Festival. I look forward to seeing you October 8th. And
October 7th.
7th
is
and
when
8th,
we open.
yes.
And when you visit, make sure you let us know when you come there. and
Yes.
perhaps you can come on to our noon proclamation and say hello to
yes.
folks.
Would love it. I'm excited. We'll see you October 7th and 8th at the
will.
Texas Renaissance Festival in Todd, Mission. You can catch it at TXRENFest.com.
All right, I'm going to say it correctly. It's TEXREN.
TEX. Okay.
TEX.
It's
Tex.
TEX
RENFEST
FEST.com.
Bam.
See
Bam.
that.
He
We'll be
nailed
right
it.
back.
That's right.
We'll be right back after this.
Huzzah.
Every Friday, tune into Texas Ticket on Conroe's 104.5 and 106.1 FM with Armando Nino of Golakeconroe, focusing on Montgomery County area events and places. Get a feel of the Texas spirit at the event, paired with guest and vendor interviews, event coverage, and ticket giveaways, and so much more. Join us Fridays and punch your Texas ticket. For more information on the show, visit irlonestar.com/Texas Ticket. This is Armando. Welcome back to the Texas Ticket with Jada Ingle,
Hi.
BeLocal magazine. How's it going?
It's going great.
Yeah.
I wasn't ready.
I've been thinking about. Are you ready?
I'm ready now.
Are you ready? You know, were you off in a movie somewhere? Maybe by Lakeside? I don't know. Maybe dinner in a movie.
I'm still at the Renaissance Festival in Fairyland.
I'm at Yum Food Truck Park in my head.
Nice.
Over there on 1097 West.
Yep.
Do you know where the place is?
I do. 1097 in Willis.
And they got something going on down there that's coming up,
They
right?
do. They have a lot of events there. We're working on Sunset Market and Movie Night. That's the first Saturday every month.
First Saturday every month.
First Saturday every month.
Sunset
out.
Market and Movie.
Sunset Market and Movies starting
Cool.
at 5 p.m. Because all the markets are in the morning, but it's just been too hot. Now, come out. The weather's nice. Gets dark
Perfect.
early. Yeah, watch a movie. We're going to do Hocus Pocus because, it's October.
And I saw the Hocus Pocus cast at the Renaissance Festival last year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they were all there. It was pretty cool. And they were really good. They looked just like them. But here in the studio right now, we have with us Katie Ingle.
Hello.
And Gary Parker. And we'll get a little bit about you guys and what's going on. And I'll start. We'll start with Katie. And, Katie, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
And you do Black Rose photography, right?
I sure do, and I love it. It's the best job in the world, yes. I specialize in boudoir. It's my bread and butter, but that doesn't mean that I don't do a bunch of other photography. Usually,
Is the boudoir, that have something to do with lingerie?
Yes, with the lingerie.
That's about the lingerie?
Yeah,
I've
or
heard
nude
about
if they
this.
want to. It's totally up to them. Implied nudity, but it's all very tasteful. Something that you could, decorate your, exclusive room with, But yeah, it's a very tasteful form of art, basically. And you
Okay.
can honestly, the thing that I've really grasped the most from that is just kind of a blow your mind kind of moment was when I first started doing boudoir. I never knew how much it would affect these women. Like, these women come in, and by the time they leave, they might come in, really insecure, self-conscious. I hear it every time. And by the time they leave and they see their pictures, especially, people have, been in tears, that they just cherish them, that they feel so much more confident, they feel empowered. I've had, people apply for jobs now, so, I just feel better about myself. So
That's awesome.
yeah, it's a really special thing. And then, too, you can do it with couples, too. I mean, not just individual. I have had male as well as female. And that's really a kind of a fun memory to have together. It's, fun, playful. You guys get to work with each other. And then at the result of it, you get to have the memory and as well as the pictures that you get to keep forever. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's probably
really
better
fun.
than my cell phone,
Yeah, it's better than your cell phone. Can't blow up that picture.
Let's talk about that.
Don't go in your
We
phone.
know you got one on your phone somewhere. Let's go pro with it, I guess, is the attitude. Get something nice, something
Yeah,
tasteful,
absolutely.
and done well.
And I think a couple ladies even put it so well that, people question, should I do it? I don't like this or that about my body. First of all, I always say I can pose you in every way possible that it will be better than 6 months in the gym can give you. And then second of all, there was an older lady that did it recently, and she's like, man, I just know if I don't do it now, my 10-year self older from now at this point would say, just do the shoot. And I really believe that, just do it. If you feel like doing it, it's your time. You will love them.
And how can they get
forever.
hold of you to do that? What would they do? They call you?
Oh, yeah, they can call me. They can, oh, gosh, there's so many ways to communicate with me. I have my cell phone number all out there.
Give it to them.
Huh? Yeah, it's 936-647-5419.
There you go.
Yep, please call. You can text me as well. But they can contact me that way. They can also contact me through my website, which is blackrosephotography.biz, B-I-Z.
Okay.
As well as email, which is yourblackrosephotography@gmail. It's kind of a long one.
So, Instagram, all that stuff, and go
Yes.
see your work. We can go
Yes.
see all the pictures.
Yes, definitely on the website. I keep up with that gallery. So you'll see all the different kind of photography that I do. And I just usually tell people the photography I don't do, which is newborn, weddings, unless they're extremely small, and real estate. So pets, couples, families, children. Right now I'm doing Halloween shoots with either kids or even boudoir. We have colored smoke. We have fire that you can actually put in your hand and it won't burn you. So I'm really creative. I think outside the box. I have a great personality. I've never once come across somebody that didn't say, I feel so comfortable with you within the first 3 minutes. But yeah, I like to think outside of the box. I don't just do the typical. So
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've seen that in some of your work. And
Thank you.
I tried not to linger.
Yellinger.
But no, Gary, you are the founder of Indie Films Foundation, and you've also have brought on a really cool suggestion for her about pup doggy boudoir. What? Tell me about that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. It was a rumor.
Yeah,
It was a
In
rumor.
one ear.
I don't want to take credit for any of that, but I do want to say that Katie is an extremely talented photographer. But where Katie and I are working together right now is she's an assistant director on a TV series we're doing.
Okay.
So she has her film talent size as well, in front and behind the camera. She can shoot, she can act, and she can edit. So she is invaluable as assistant director on Shattered Lives, a TV miniseries.
Okay. And Shattered Lives, the TV miniseries, that's the one coming up you all are working on. The reason when we kind of brought you out, I mean, it was we couldn't not talk about a little boudoir, but but nevertheless, the Shattered Lives. Tell me about Shattered Lives, what it is, and where would we watch that, and how does that work, and when does it start, and all that.
Yeah, let me start in the beginning.
Yeah, go ahead.
22 years ago, Mike Valdez, who was a local attorney and
Yeah.
who was assistant DA at the time.
Winner of the cook-off here at the Montgomery County
Yes,
Fair
exactly.
and Rodeo.
Wife is a judge.
That team.
He started a program to try to discourage high school kids from drinking and driving at the time, and it was called Shattered Lives, and it was Shattered Lives of Montgomery County. He did, Willis was his first one he did, and then the second one he did, he hired me to do the video. In the Shattered Lives program, we go into high school, and maybe 100 kids volunteer to be part of the program. So we set up accident scene with as many as 5 cars, and the kids are placed in there into the accident. Some of them die on the scene. Some of them go to the hospital and die. Some of them are arrested. So it's a very realistic scene. Once we say go, the police and the fire department and everybody responds to the scene just as if it's real. And the seniors are standing around watching this play out in live, real time. And so I usually have 4 or 5 guys there that are shooting this. And my job was to take all that footage and create a moving and passionate video that would play the next morning in front of the whole school and their parents and everybody, that would replay that day's events in story form. So that was 22 years ago. And up until COVID, we did 5 or 6 a year. So I've done almost 200 videos because I do it for Montgomery County and for Mike, but then word got out and I did it for a lot of the surrounding counties and some smaller schools around here like Cold Spring, Tarkington, even some Harris County schools. And so I'm proud to say all those videos have a different theme and a different storyline. It's still around the same thing where it's an accident scene and all that's going on with that, but each one has a little bit of a different story. In addition to the accident scene, the other guys who were involved in it, the other kids who weren't in the accident scene, they would be called what we call the living dead. And they would be in their classroom, and the knock would come on the door, and a policeman and a fireman or a paramedic would come into the classroom, and they would read. They would bring the child up to the front, or the young person, high school kid, up to the front of the class, and we'd have like somebody dressed as the Grim Reaper. And they would read an obituary their parents were forced to write about the death.
Oh, wow.
And so there was a ton of emotion. And we would take these kids to, some of them on the scene and some of them in the hospitals, the parents would have to come out and identify that child. And that child's got bones coming out of them. They're all bloody and stuff. And the parents would have to say, yeah, that's my child. So you can imagine there's so much emotion involved in that. The parents lose it immediately. I mean, I did pretty good until some dad, started losing it. And I'd be behind the camera filming and crying, going, oh, my God, this is too real.
Yeah. That's
but that was the purpose of it.
Yeah.
That's what we were trying to do, is create that emotion and that realism. And I think we've had great success over the years that we put it on YouTube and everything. Obviously, we started so long ago, there was no YouTube. We distribute DVDs and stuff. We've had over 500,000 viewers who have watched these things. When, a high school like Woodlands High School come out, we'd have 10 to 20,000 views of the video over and over again. And so the idea behind the TV series was, we can't do what we used to do in the high school, so we want to take it to a larger and a bigger audience. And it started out as a film. And the film, we started working on that and trying to raise the whole amount of $1 million at one time this far from Hollywood is kind of difficult. And so I had this brilliant idea, and the screenwriter just loved me for it, was to make a 10-part series out of it. And series are extremely popular. I know y'all have got your favorite series you binge watch. And so what I liked about the 10-part series was we then had more time to deal with the characters, because there's a young man named James who's kind of the big man on campus, as I used to call him, the high school hero. Everybody loves him. He's got 2 or 3 girlfriends, he's a quarterback, all these things going for him. And he's got parents that have some issues, and his friends have parents that have some issues, and the kids have issues, just like real life. And what happens was his dad leaves town. He says, don't have a party. And James's friends go, okay, party at your house.
Yeah.
And he gives in. And they have a big blowout party. And in the middle of it, they run out of alcohol. And he goes, okay, I'll go get some more. I've got a friend who'll sell it to me, you know. And his friend goes, no, I'll go. And so they go, we'll both go. And that's okay, well, I'll race you. And so the climax at that point is as James is going through this intersection. And he's texting, and he's driving drunk, and he's not paying attention. He's got friends in the car with him. And he T-bones his best friend, Ryan, in the intersection and kills all the people in there, too.
Oh, wow.
All just like that. Just a mistake, you know, just one of those wrong place, wrong time, all that. And so it's a small community. It's just like Conroe, Texas. It's a very small community, you know, and you think about losing 5 high school kids in one accident here would touch the lives of everybody in this city. So that's where we are with that. And then James, as his friends turn their back on him, and the church turns their back on him, and everybody just kind of deserts him, except for a couple little people that think he needs forgiveness as much as anybody.
Yeah.
And he goes off to prison, and he survives prison, getting into prison ministry and so forth, and basically makes it through that. And he comes back out to the community that he hopes will forgive him for that accident. So that's the TV miniseries,
Wow.
and that's where it came from. But it's pretty good, huh?
Yeah, that's intense. Is it different every time, or is it all the same incident played in parts?
Originally, it was what you just said, the same setup, and we play it differently. This is a fictional story.
Okay.
The TV series Katie and I are creating now, and Bruce, a screenwriter, it's a fictional story. James is a fictional guy. But the idea is to take this out and get people to, you know, watch it and use that as kind of what we used before. Because what we used before was makeup, too.
Yeah.
You know, that was made up. But it's just that they were real students and they were friends of people and stuff.
I think it's a realism we can all relate to. I mean, there's definitely that easy understanding to what you just described.
And it's developed beyond when we started as drink and driving. Now there's drugs and driving. Now there's distracted driving. There's phones and there's food and there's all these things, and people my age are the worst at it. I literally now, I promise you, so it's safe for all y'all to drive around me. I will check my phone at a stop sign or stoplight, and that's it. The rest of the time I put it down because it's.
Right, it's too habitual. I want to check it. You know, I'm looking at it all the time. I'm forced not to look at it while we're here.
Yeah.
Right. It's
All right,
going on
everybody
around
quick
it.
to it.
Right?
How much time we have left?
But so when does it air? And tell us is it already out? Or?
No, we're in the pre-production stage.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, we're having auditions this weekend. And Katie's about to pull out what's left of her beautiful hair because we have had such a response to the audition process for people who want to be a part of this thing.
That's awesome.
600-something people and all. And so we've closed the auditions for now. We've got 100 people this weekend, and what they're going to be able to do, if you're not in that group, is you're going to be able to send us more video reels, because Katie and I have been looking through, at least 100.
Yes, a lot.
100.
A lot. And we are looking through all of them, and I just want everybody that sent them to know that. We are definitely taking the time. It does matter. But it takes time. But that's the process that you have to deal with when you do these kind of things, is you have to see the talent, and then we call them back.
What's your timeline look like? How long till your cast should be set, do you think?
You know, I want to start shooting in November.
Okay.
But that's very wishful thinking on my part. Most of the people who are working with me go, it's not going to happen. That's when I want to start shooting. We still have not raised all of our money to do the whole series either. You know, we're planning on just shooting one episode at a time.
Yeah, there you go.
And so we're trying just now to get the pilot and the first episode done, because then once we have that, there's some studios that are interested in seeing the quality of our work, the quality of our acting, and so forth. So we just have to get enough money to get that first one done, and I'm planning on doing that in November.
And we were talking to this guy, or I was, and just watching some topics that are interesting to me about production and things like that, and especially series. You know how we're as humans, we're always trying to close the loop, right? So whatever, if someone brings up a subject and leaves it open, what do you mean come back next week? What happens? Well, he's going to kill her. No, he's not going to kill her. He's going to die. He's going to get kicked off the island. You're bringing that closed circle to your mind after the episode ended, but it totally makes me want to watch it next time because it's an unclosed circle in my thoughts, and I'm compelled to close the circle. And do you work on some of these premises on your series, or do you foresee that kind of foreshadowing of?
Not only have I driven Katie crazy as assistant director, the screenwriter is a close friend of mine, Bruce May, who wrote a phenomenal script, phenomenal script. I mean, he did dialogue for like 100 different people.
Yeah.
So he's real schizophrenic.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, I said that out front. That's out there. But he was able to tap into a very realistic dialogues of not only adults, men and women, but also teenagers.
Yeah.
And he really researched. He's an outstanding writer. He's written like 12 books and so forth. And so he's really a great writer. And he's been writing stuff for my production forever.
That's cool.
But this was phenomenal. And the thing of it is, when it went from a film to a TV series, that was his first hurdle, because that was huge. I mean, he loved it because we could expand on all our characters and so forth. And then we got to timing it out in each one, because this is going to go on broadcast. We got a broadcast deal to broadcast it, 6 million people as soon as we get it done. It has to be exactly 40 minutes because we got commercials and sponsors to fill in. So then he went back and started timing them. And as you can imagine, it's 40, 40, 40, 20, 30, 70, 80, 20, 40. Oh. So he had to start cramming all these back into section 1, episode 2,
That's
3,
tricky.
4.
And keep your story,
And he still has his mind intact, which is amazing to me.
But some days. But
that's a big basket
nice.
to weave and to keep it, that highs and lows, right? And, balance out your interest.
And the reason I went down that rabbit trail was each episode has a cliffhanger to go to the second. And so our challenge has been that the accident doesn't happen until 4.
Okay.
At the end of 4. And so that's a real cliffhanger going into 5. Who dies, who what, blah, blah, blah. That's the end of episode 4. But you have to have people in episode 1, 2, and 3 start liking these people so you can kill them, and so that they can be mad at you and go, why did you do that? I love that guy.
Yeah.
And so by then they're bought into it and they want to see what happens. He's going to go to jail. Why would he go to jail? He's such a nice guy.
It's a craft to do that part. Even when, like you said, you wrote out the story, but it didn't have that. You know what I mean? It was maybe at the end of a chapter, it segues into the next, but it's not built with that kind of emphasis to that transition, And I think when you build those into an existing story, it is a challenge, and you might have to rewrite a bit, just a little bit.
No, he had to rewrite a whole bunch.
He's still writing. He's probably at home writing more right now.
Yeah,
I would think so.
That's all he does is write,
He can't write our emails, but he needs to write.
Passion brings integrity. Integrity brings a great show. So I assume the production will show it. And I want to segue and take a minute really quick to talk about speaking of what I think is going to be a great show coming up is the Texas Custom Knife Show out at the Lone Star Mocha Fairgrounds. That is going to be November 4th and 5th at the Mocha Fairgrounds, the Texas Custom Knife Show. And I wanted to bring it up because I got 2 tickets to give away. Just email, go to Facebook and direct messages at facebook.com/DXTicket. Ask for the 2 tickets to the knife show, and we'll give those out to you. And that's coming November 4th and 5th at the Lone Star Pavilion. And a reminder, the Texas Renaissance Festival starts October 7th for the Queen's birthday party thing. I don't know. Yeah, and the whole Oktoberfest thing, and he told us all about that. So just want to make sure that's out there. We have a pair of tickets to give away there too. Just ask. Send us a message, facebook.com/TXTicket with a direct message. We'll give the first one who messages that pair of tickets to the Texas Renaissance Festival this season. You can use them anytime. But let's get back to it. So Indie Films. Now, tell me a little bit about the company Indie Films on a separate note. Does it have any independent productions outside of this production?
It doesn't at the moment. It actually was started during COVID. It's such a great time to start anything.
Yeah, right.
Bruce and I got together and thought we would start a film school.
Oh,
Fill in the spare time with a film school. Because we both love to teach, love to mentor, and so we started film school, and we had a summer class. Our first summer class was great. We had a third high school kids, a third college kids, and a third adults. And they all came together all summer. We would meet on Saturdays from I don't even remember. Anyway, we meet on Saturdays for 6 hours.
wow.
And they put together their own student film at the end. We premiered it at the Star Cinema. And it was a great experience. And then we couldn't get it together for the next summer. People were scared to come get together and all that stuff. So we did an online school. We have a 18-part online school that we offer that's really reasonable.
Do you keep some of the guys in the dojo to kind of work on indie later? Do
yeah.
they stay in the camp? I mean, do you take
yeah.
the graduates there?
Yeah. Well, I'm leading to this summer we had acting classes because
wow.
that was
Okay.
something that we found people
You're
were
gonna
most
need
interested in. And I'm not an actor, but Katie is. And so we kind of taught them from not only the actor perspective, but the director perspective. What does a director expect from his actor? Because
That's cool.
Yeah, really, the directors are the ones who get to pick the people in the final, thing. Because, and it doesn't mean that I'm not open to it. Because I'll tell you right now, the guy who's kind of leading the group of James that we have was not who I pictured, but his audition was phenomenal.
Yeah.
I mean, I just went, oh,
So you've
man,
seen
this
a lot of
guy's
talent
good.
coming out of this area. Good. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, with the strike right now, a lot of people have second houses, and Texas is a really big hot spot right now for Hollywood. So a lot of people live around Austin, live around Houston, that are coming out to us, reaching out to us because
That's great.
they can't work right now. So it's perfect timing. Yeah,
That's
crew side
outstanding.
too. We have some crew members that also have reached out that can't work right now.
So where's some film spots? Where are you shooting right now? Any local places we can talk about?
No.
Not until we filming. Yeah.
We're not filming yet.
The location,
Oh.
the location director
Fair enough.
Yeah, now
is
it's on the
working
back
on
road.
that, and she's got a couple of houses around the lake we're going to shoot in.
We got some suggestions. If you need some locations, I'm sure we can get some of the.
We're looking for a radio station.
Really?
Okay.
Like a haunted one,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be great. But the more haunted,
Maybe
the better.
not. Probably doesn't go with the theme, huh?
Doesn't go
Yeah,
with the
I'm
theme.
thinking
Probably
no.
not.
Maybe like.
I mean, I'm all for horror, but no.
Let's go a
You know,
sci-fi radio station.
I ought to tell you the
Assistant director, I'll
truth.
be
Let's
like,
go
no.
sci-fi with the right now.
There's been a couple of films I've worked on, and they were serious films, and I thought, man, if we just make a comedy out of this at about this point, we'd have fun.
Yeah.
And so the other day, a couple of people auditioned, and they just sang a couple of things because the music director on this had brought them in. They had been in his studio recording.
Okay.
And he goes, and they can act. And so they came by our studio and visited with us, and they could act. And then they sang, and I was like going, I tell you what we're going to do. After we have success with this TV miniseries, we got plenty of money, we can do what we want, right? We're going to do a Broadway musical about Shattered Lives and let you sing
There
your
you go.
part.
Oh, that's a great idea.
That's funny. This is the first I'm hearing of this.
It's good to work with Bruce and I. We're old, but we are all
Yeah.
over the place. Okay?
Do y'all
Yeah.
gonna do the? Do y'all live here in Conroe?
Mm-hmm.
I live
Are you
out
from
in
this
Lake
area?
Conroe.
Lake Conroe. So do y'all do the Conroe Cajun Catfish Festival? It's happening October 13th, 14th,
I
and 15th.
actually shot footage of the last year's Conroe Cajun Catfish Festival. I
cool.
spent 2 days there going around shooting video
That's
of
awesome. And again, it's happening, of course, this year, October 13th, 14th, and 15th. That's by the Friends of Conroe. Friends of Conroe. here in the lobby there at the Conroe Tower here at Studio One and Lone Star Community Radio.
Yeah.
And guys, where can we go to watch it when it's ready? How do we follow along with the adventure
For support.
of? Yeah.
They said a lot about support. How
Yeah,
can we support you as
Who
a
sponsors
community?
this show? All
Yes,
this stuff.
that's what I was going to say. You know, sponsors at any point, because this is going to be such a long project. You know, we're filming not just like a feature, we're filming throughout months. So, I mean, the crew needs to eat. So sponsors aren't necessarily just money, but even local restaurants or anything that could help with the crew and help us out is greatly appreciated. Like we said earlier, we never shut the door to any investors. So anybody that's, you know, involved in this powerful theme that we're going with, you know, of distracted driving, drunk driving, you know, driving on drugs, all that stuff. This is such a good message. So I really believe, you know, there's people out there that might have the funds to actually support us doing this, because that's what we're really trying to do, is spread the word. But also, you know, we are going to be looking for a lot of extras. There are quite a few scenes where we need to fill like huge buildings full of people, and they can be all ages. I know that's one of the common questions of who are you looking for. We have 22 adult males, we have 8 women, adult women, and then 7 teenagers, male and female. So, I mean, when it comes to speaking roles, a lot of people are like, well, I'm 13, and you're just not old enough, but you could be an extra. So we do have that. We do need the community to come up for that. We don't have those dates yet because that's, you know, whenever we film, they're going to show up that day. But that's also something that we
Where could we keep tabs with that? So the wannabe thespians or the ones that are already professionals can find and follow.
So there's 2 ways. One, you can apply online still, right? We still have that open. Okay, so if you apply on our website, you can actually get the updates on emails. However, I am also on our Facebook page, and I try to do as many updates. I do lives on there. I show behind the scenes. I mean, it's going to be way more active once we're actually starting to film. We have a cast. I'm going to introduce the cast. We're going to have fun with it. I'm the only one that can post on it right now, so please, y'all, watch. But yeah, if you follow us, that's probably the 2 best places to get the information.
Is that also they can go to the tap link, right? Is that
yes, but
something?
and that's we should share that actually instead of just a website, because that gives them everything. But we have this special link set up where you can see a trailer that we're going to redo because it was just kind of slapped together. And then we have our website. We have all the social media, everything on there. So,
and where's that website?
We'll give it to you. It's I'd have to look it up because
Okay.
it's through tap link.
It's Shattered
We'll
Lives
insert-
TV
But that's the
Miniseries.com.
website.
Shattered
That's
Lives
the
TV
website.
Miniseries.
But the tap link's different.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll give you that one.
Super. Well, guys, I want to thank y'all for coming on the show today. Did you have any closing questions about the Shattered Lives show, or
I don't.
maybe
I just-
photos in the boudoir? Maybe something you could schedule.
Why
or-
don't you do a
I
session?
know. Wouldn't that be
You
fun?
know?
Just
That would
make
be
me feel
fun.
beautiful. Because, yeah, I'm one of those people that I'm like, I don't think I could do that.
Oh, you could.
I got the whole YMCA thing running through my head. You know, the you
Yes.
know
Well, you should
construction
see-
worker, fireman. You know, I just want something unique. You know, I don't think that's working for me.
You know, and I came up with boudoir. It's a play on boudoir, and it's with a male, and it's, you know, usually for like his wife, or you can make it into a calendar. And I have pitched to some friends that do sell vacuums. I'm like, if I could just make you a calendar, I swear you would have so many more clients, because I can picture so many themes, like him in the vacuum with the bow on it, and they're romantically with the fireplace next to the Christmas tree for December. You know, like,
You're not
it's a
willing to
play on
make
it. It's
memes
a
like
humorous play.
this, and we're not supposed to be together.
It's so funny. It's really, really fun and funny. But I also do serious male boudoir shoots too.
Wonderful. And we can follow you at blackrosephotography.biz.
Biz, yes.
Yes. And we'll do that. We'll keep up. We'll watch there. We'll share this out. And hopefully we get some folks to help support the programming and the show. And really glad y'all came to visit with
Thank
us today.
you.
And hopefully
for
we get the word
having
out
us.
there.
Yeah, thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
Gary. I
Thank you.
appreciate it, Katie. My
Yeah.
pleasure. Thank you, guys. We'll be back with more Texas Ticket. Facebook.com/TXTicket.
Kick your feet up.